Heyo, and what is up, gang? Thank you for checking out Sledgehammer TV tonight. The second round of the Mae Young Classic kicked off tonight with episode number 5. 4 more matches to determine who moves on to the quarterfinals. Among them, the absolute best match I have seen and the worst match I have seen in this tournament to this point, and my absolute new favorite superstar, and we are going to talk about it right here, right now. Can you guess who they are? Because I'm going to tell you. I'm Nick Nightmare, and this is the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show's Mae Young Classic review and results show for episode number 5. Let's do it.
Sledgehammer Wrestling Show.
All right, wrestling fans, thank you so much for joining me. You know, the Mae Young Classic continues to be one of my all-time favorite shows that the WWE has produced in the last couple of years. These 4 matchups we got tonight, not all of them were spectacular, but 3 out of 4 ain't bad. And we are going to start off right at the top with the first match to kick off the second round, which is Hiroyo Matsumoto versus Toni Storm, the rock and roll goddess, versus Lady Godzilla. And this was a much better performance for me coming from Matsumoto. I was not very impressed in a very good matchup. It was a very good matchup she had in the first round with Rachel Evers, and she had a fantastic matchup tonight with Toni Storm, one that was much better. But I think that my underwhelming feelings that I'm getting for Matsumoto come strictly from the fact that she is being featured in the same tournament as an Io Shirai and as Meiko Satomura. Now, it's funny to me that the first time I was exposed to Matsumoto was in the same episode that I would see Io Shirai for the first time, and now the second time I would see her would be on an episode that would also feature Meiko Satomura, who I was very much looking forward to seeing again a second time, and she certainly did not disappoint. Tonight we will get to that. The main event of this show was absolutely fantastic, and the first matchup as well was very good. Toni Storm is absolutely tough as nails. Matsumoto was in control for the majority of the matchup. The striking and the kicking that was going on from this Lady Godzilla was absolutely insane. Toni Storm able to weather the storm that Matsumoto brought to her. She was all power tonight. She was definitely much more impressive. Hiroyo would hit the rock drop, her finishing move, and Toni Storm would just barely get her tippy toe on the bottom rope to avoid that 3 count, which would be the moment that would turn the tide in this matchup. Matsumoto was absolutely flustered by this. She was frustrated, and in the moment got herself caught up in a fancy little reverse roll-up, and Toni Storm would get the 3 count and would be the first woman to advance to the quarterfinal rounds, and in doing so would be the first woman to do it in repeat years for the Mae Young Classic. A great way to kick off the show. Matsumoto, like I said, to compare her to Asuka, I guess, is unfair, but that's who I see. I see a long-haired Asuka. She's not really that impressive to me based off of what I have seen from what she has given us in the WWE. I'm sure what she has done wherever else she has wrestled has been top-notch in New Japan and Stardom or all the other places where she's come from. I'm sure she's fantastic, but when you're putting her in a field that includes 2 women that absolutely outshine her in every aspect, from personality to charisma to moveset to the way they move in the ring, there's no way she could compete. And there's just too much as of late. There's so much talent coming in from Japan. It's hard for any of them to really stand out unless they have something special to bring to the table. I didn't truly see anything special or unique about Matsumoto, but I wouldn't mind having her stick around based off of her performance here tonight with Toni Storm. Absolutely great way to kick off the second round. But if you want to talk about having fun in professional wrestling, you could say these words. You could say the words fun. You could say the words speed, agility, excitement, unpredictability. These would all be words you could use to describe Kacy Catanzaro. She just might be my absolute new favorite superstar, bar none. There is just something magical about Kacy Catanzaro. I don't know what it is. She's a spitfire in a small package. She's an American Ninja Warrior. And she just has it. You know, when you look at somebody and they have it, you don't even have to see them wrestle. She's just got this sparkle to her. And when she wrestles in the ring, you can tell she is made to be doing what she is doing. She's bringing something different to the game that nobody else is offering, and she hasn't even been wrestling, and she's only been training for a full year. Barely even a full year, and she's been able to pull off two of the most entertaining matchups you have seen in the Mae Young Classic this year. What does that tell you about where she's going to be a year from now, 2 years from now? In NXT, the NXT Women's Champion, most likely. She has this great likability factor. She's going to be very over with the crowd. And she's got that Shawn Michaels aura about her that she's just going to take a beating and keep coming back. You're going to have to kill Kacy Catanzaro to beat her, which is what we, in essence, seen tonight in her matchup against the Aussie badass Rhea Ripley. I am in love with Rhea Ripley's new Pete Dunne-inspired persona. She is fucking great. She is so good. From her facials and her mannerisms to her overall look, her ring gear, her hairdo, the way she carries herself, the way she throws Kacy Catanzaro around this ring for the majority of this match, the way she used her overwhelming power and her strength and her size advantage to counter the agility and the speed of Kacy Catanzaro at every turn whenever she can. But Kacy Catanzaro would not be denied, and she would impress by pulling off some of the most breathtaking stuff we have seen so far. I have never seen a 5-foot-tall female pull off an around-the-world DDT on a woman double her size and make it look so impactful and so good and not even be wrestling for a full year. How does one do that? There are girls that have been wrestling for 10 plus years, Alicia Fox, Alexa Bliss, that could never pull that move off. You kidding me? This girl is going to be a megastar. That top rope handstand flipping Hurricane Rana thing that she does is great. Yeah, I'm not blind. I saw the botch, but you have to forgive that because she didn't let it take her down. Sure, it didn't look great. She did this little, I'm going to flip over the top rope and then bounce off the second rope on the inside of the ring. It was very, very unique, very crazy to see, and she missed it. She missed it the first time out, and she kind of did this collapse thing that she probably shouldn't have done since she landed on her feet. She shouldn't have collapsed to the floor and then bopped back up and then tried to do it again. But she's a rookie, like I said. Things like that are going to happen, and she didn't allow it to stop her. She didn't allow it to break the flow of the match. She got right back up, tried it again, got the crowd behind her before she executed it the second time, and pulled it off. Definitely ring presence in that moment, pulling it off like a professional, and she's only just begun. Absolutely fantastic. But nothing she could do would be able to stop the onslaught of Rhea Ripley. Another one of my new favorites coming out of this year's tournament. Didn't impress me too much last year with her goody-goody two-shoes Australian good girl act, but this year she has grown leaps and bounds and is absolutely just one of the greatest things coming out of this Mae Young Classic. Pump handle spinebuster slam to Kacy to end this thing, as Rhea Ripley will be entrant number 2 into the quarterfinals of this year's tournament. What a great match this was, a great showing for Kacy. The sky is the limit for both of these girls. And I know Rhea Ripley's going to be doing her thing in NXT UK. Hopefully we get to see that stuff on the network pretty soon. But I am very excited for the future of this American Ninja Warrior. I was very skeptical, and I was ready to make fun of her and drop all kinds of nonsense all over this girl. But all I want to drop is love and respect, because she's going to be great. I can't wait. I can definitely wait to see Lacey Lane again. And I mean no disrespect. You guys who watched my review of episode number 2, I think it was, she was first featured on, made her debut in the WWE, one of the Dudley Boys trainees, right? And I gave her the benefit of the doubt when she was going up against the bigger and stronger Mountain Vanessa Craven in the first round, and gave us this shock victory, upset victory as it were. And I was somewhat looking forward to her tonight. But unfortunately, I guess we could blame this on the WWE's pairing and planning of this tournament, because Taynara Conti is awful. I don't know why they like her. I don't know why she was brought into NXT. I don't know why she's back again in this year's Mae Young Classic tournament. I just don't get it. Sure, she's beautiful. She's got big, beautiful eyes. But she needs to learn to keep her tongue in her mouth. Taynara Tongue Chi. The whole match. What is that? You're going to bite your tongue off. It's very dangerous. Stick your tongue back in your mouth, honey, and concentrate on your wrestling. Because it's not there. She likes to scream. She's got a lot of hair going on. There's always a lot of hair flipping in Taynara Conti matches. Lacey Lane did not impress me. This match was bad. This match was pretty bad. These girls are two very green, inexperienced girls and did not perform to the level that I expect. That the standard has been set at the Mae Young Classic. You know what I mean? And this was very subpar. Very subpar. Very sloppy. Very spotty. And just not quick enough, if you ask me. I expected way more out of this, even considering the fact that both of these girls were green as grass. But this match was not a Mae Young Classic contest, if you ask me. This is like one of those preliminary, hey, let's watch these two students fight at some NXT pre-show during WrestleMania weekend on an Access show. This is not Mae Young Classic material. And what does this lead to? This leads to Lacey Lane beating Taynara Conti with that crucifix bomb, which she did better to a person twice her size than she did to Conti. It looked like she almost killed her. At the same token, Conti did some sort of a takedown at the beginning of this match, almost broke Lacey Lane's neck right in the middle of the ring. Terrible. Very bad. And Lacey Lane gets the win in this matchup, and she's going to move on. She's going to move on to face the winner of the matchup we are going to talk about next, and we are going to address that if I remember, because it's really unimportant. It's uneventful, because Lacey Lane is not going to go past the quarterfinals when she goes up against the winner of this absolutely beautiful match. I needed this match from the Mae Young Classic to help my eyes and cleanse my soul to recover from the third match on this night with Lane and Conti. I needed it. I needed it to be everything that it was. This match, the perfect word for it, was beautiful. If you guys have been watching me on this channel and watching my Mae Young Classic coverage, you know I've not been very high on Mercedes Martinez as well. Somebody they brought in from the outside that has a tremendous amount of experience, all these years worth of accolades, but is she really one of the greatest in the world, the way Michael Cole kept hyping her up to be? These are two of the world's greatest talents. No, there's one of two of the world's greatest talents. Mercedes Martinez is great. And by the way, Cole, asshole, it's Martinez, not Martinez. Martinez is spelt with an I-S at the end. Her name's got an E-Z. I know you're white as a fucking marshmallow, bro, but it's Martinez. That's my last name. That's how I know how it's pronounced. And one of the biggest pet peeves in my life is when they mispronounce my last name. I hate when people say Martinez. It's not Martinez. It's Martinez. Nez, not Nis. Martinez, dick. Get it right. It's not even an exotic name. All it's got is a Z on the end, and you can't even pronounce it right. Ez, not is. Ugh, irks me. Maybe if it wasn't my last name, I wouldn't give a shit. Michael Cole's bullshit aside, Meiko Satomura versus Mercedes Martinez. Absolutely great. Satomura is smooth and graceful in the ring, but at the same time, she is just so powerful and brutal. The kicks that she delivered across the chest of Mercedes Martinez make Brie Bella cringe in her pants, knowing that she could never perform them that way. Absolutely great. I know I use that word absolutely a lot. I guess that's my catchphrase. Absolutely fantastic. Meiko Satomura is. My God. And this was the best match I have seen out of Mercedes Martinez. Like I was saying before, I'm not really very high on her, but she definitely proved herself in this matchup tonight. This is the toughest, the most hard-hitting, hard-fought matchup we have seen in this year's tournament, maybe even over everything we've seen from last year's tournament. This match was everything you would want in a wrestling match. The knife-edge chops that Mercedes was executing on Meiko Satomura were making my mom jump in her pants, and she has been passed away for years, okay? She don't even exist anymore, and I felt her jumping in her skin just from the tap. The sound of the chops that were echoing through Full Sail University. Oh my God. Oh my God. And you know they hurt because Satomura kept holding her chest for the entirety of the match. She's not going to do that unless it really hurt. She got hit with them so many times. Mercedes Martinez on her A game in this matchup tonight. There was a lot of great chain wrestling that went on, and the story that was being told in this match was fantastic because it just evolved. We started with the chain wrestling, and they sort of came to a stalemate there. Neither one of the women was more dominant than the other there, and then it moved to the kicking and the striking until it just escalated to the point where we were getting impact move after impact move out of these girls. Meiko hit this beautiful, absolutely beautiful frog splash from the top rope, right on top of Martinez. I thought that was going to be the end of it, but Martinez kept coming back. Another one of these women on this night that just would not say die and did not want to let this second chance that she had to advance in the Mae Young Classic to the quarterfinal round slip through her grasp. And she was going to do everything she could or die trying, and she literally almost did in this match with Satomura. Martinez tried many times to hit that Fisherman Buster suplex that she has put everybody away with, failing on 2 occasions and actually hitting it on the 3rd try. But Satomura would kick out, much to her surprise, and you could see the shock and awe in her face, and it absolutely took Mercedes off her game enough for Meiko to deliver that handspring flipping double knee strike, and then she would follow it up with that ridiculous kick. I forgot what they called it. Was it the Cobra kick? I forgot what it was, but whatever it was brutal. It was like a step up axe kick to the back of the head, if you want to call it by its technical name. I forgot the name. I should have wrote it down here, but I forgot the name that they called it. It was absolutely one of the most beautiful moves I have seen, and it put Mercedes Martinez out of this tournament. It was a beautiful match. If you watch one match this year to this point, this is the match to watch. And when it was all said and done, after they showed the highlight package and they cut back to the ring, Martinez and Satomura were on their knees, face to face, just embracing each other, shaking each other's hands, And it brought a tear to my eye. It made me emotional. Watching the respect that they have for each other, knowing that they just went in there and did what they did for us. You know, they can feel it too. It's not just us that feel the magic. The performers know when they hit that note. They know when they were just in the match that they would want to have again and again and again. A star-making performance tonight by both of these women. And I absolutely teared up and choked up from a wrestling match. That's how much wrestling means to me. I know you guys love it as much as I do, and it comes across when you see the competitors out of character like that, doing something that just makes sense. They went in there and literally almost killed each other, beating the shit out of each other with some of the most hardest strikes I have ever seen, maybe even harder than the boys do it. And I have to give my respect to both women. It was beautiful. It was a thing of beauty. My favorite match of the tournament so far, hands down. And it only makes me even more excited for what's to come because, as Michael Cole wanted to say 100 times, we're only beginning round 2. This is just the beginning of the second round, and we have the greatest matchup that has ever been happening in history. When Michael Cole says it, it's a bunch of hyperbole. When I say it, you could take that shit right to the bank and cash it because it's money. And you need to go check it out right now if you missed it. Thank you guys so much for joining me today for our Mae Young Classic Episode 5 review and results show. I love the Mae Young Classic. Nobody covers it the way we do. We did a round 2 preview that some of you guys haven't been watching. I don't know what's up with that. Everybody's watching the reviews, but you guys don't want to know my predictions and my previews for this round. Some of them came true, and you need to go check it out right now. It's only 10 minutes, and it's a whole lot of fun, so go check it out now that we've wrapped up things over here to see what I thought about everything else you got coming your way in the next couple of weeks from the WWE on this Mae Young Classic journey that we are on. Don't forget to check out everything else on the channel. The hammer came down super hard on SmackDown Live and Monday Night Raw this week, as it usually does on Monday, but I was a little bit more unforgiving on a Tuesday than I usually am for SmackDown Live, leading up to this Super Showdown bullshit, which we will have the preview and predictions up, unfortunately, for you guys this weekend. I am not looking forward to this show. I hate this show. I absolutely hate it. Not because of the card, but just because it exists, and we'll talk more about that during the preview and prediction show that's coming up this weekend. Even more important than the Super Showdown, because that's going to be a Super Suckdown, is going to be House of Glory this Friday night, coming back to the NYC Arena with Extreme Warfare, and our preview and predictions are up for that, and we will have the review and results for you guys up this weekend as well. Lots of stuff going on the channel this week, so make sure that you stay in the know, and the best way to do that is to be subscribed. Help us get to 1,000 subscribers and stay notified by hitting that bell next to the subscribe button so you don't miss a thing. I don't know if it works. I know my notifications for the people that I'm subscribed to, they don't fucking work. People are putting up new videos. I don't get notifications all the time. Hopefully you guys are getting mine, and if you're not, make sure you have that button pressed, because maybe that's why you're not getting them. So make sure you ring that bell, and then smash that like button if you enjoyed everything we talked about today. If you're having fun watching the Mae Young Classic and you're having fun watching me doing my reviews of the Mae Young Classic, all you got to do is hit that thumbs up. It definitely helps the channel, helps the video get out there as we try to hit that goal of 1K before we end this year, or I just might go insane right here for you guys live on this channel. And then, as always, share this video with each and every one of your wrestling buddies all over the wrestling world, especially if they love the Mae Young Classic just as much as we do. You know where to direct them, and that is right here to Sledgehammer TV. Thank you guys again for being here. My name is Nick Nightmare. This is my team, Thor the Sledgehammer, the wrestling god of thunder, and the official Sledgehammer of the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show. His tag team partner, the world heavyweight champion of all the microphones in all the world. He is Mr. Blue, the Snowball Microphone. We are so glad to be with you here. Thank you for joining us once again. That is going to do it. And we are out of here, and we will see you all weekend long for everything. Make sure you don't miss a goddamn thing. I look forward to seeing you guys there right here on the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show. Have a good night.